Mr. Pisser, Mr. Pisser, Mr. Pisser. No piss here, no piss. TikTok's Planet Fitness predator, Jacoby Dixon.
Hey, what's up, mine? I told you there would be consequences for not acknowledging my blackness, so I just did a little grocery shopping. I've got my shopping cart right here, and the cart corral is right there. But I'm going to leave my shopping cart right here.
Okay. I mean,
Jacoby Dixon is a 25-year-old man from Conyers, Georgia, and is probably the most disgusting person I'll ever talk about. Basically nothing is known about Jacoby's bringing up, but he blew up on TikTok around 2022, while also using Instagram Reels to post his videos, which would sometimes get even more views than his TikToks would.
Okay.
The oldest video on his profile is probably what you would expect from 2022 humor.
Starting route to Sacramento in 150 feet. Turn left at the fork, make a right, make a left at the light, turn around, then continue for a mile on to South York.
Over the past couple of years, Jacoby's content definitely evolved into something that I guess...
Be honest, bro. Was y'all getting shit like that on y'all For You pages or not? Be real. Shit that was popping up?
he thinks is funny, but I just don't. And this content is starting every video he makes with the N-word and then saying a few motivational words.
Hey, what's up, my nigga? We made it to Friday. Now be safe and have a spectacular weekend.
I guess because of the way he was saying this word, people in the comments were saying that he got his comments just became full of trolls that were saying he wasn't black and that he's white.
Apparently you people are questioning the authenticity of my N-word pass. It is not expired, it is not revoked, and I can say it whenever I want.
And his response to these trolls was to make videos of himself proving his blackness by doing things like leaving a shopping cart in the middle of a parking spot, which is literally just racist. But enough talking about his terrible content, and let's dig a little deeper into his past. So around 2019, before Jacoby was on TikTok, he was actually a part of the US Air Force. But for some reason, he was discharged on bad conduct. He was eventually put on trial and faced a home-breaking charge in communicating a threat. What I can make of this story is that Jacoby suspected that a male was in the same room as a female, which there was a strict rule against. And when he found this out, he creeped around their room to find out if he was right, but when nobody came out of the room, he decided to slide a note into their room. But to do this, he had to scan a card and open their door, and when he slid the note in, his hand was over the threshold, which made it unlawful entry. And to add on to that, the note he slid into the room was actually a threat to ruin the male's career if he didn't come to a deal with Jacoby. This threat read, "We both know that opposite genders aren't allowed in the rooms. If you and A1C are going to break the rules, then you should be more discreet. I'm obligated to tell the sergeant, and she is going to check the cameras. However, I am willing to make a deal with you. If you want to avoid getting ratted out and you want to make a deal with me, then here's what you're gonna do. You will send the word yes in the training squadron group chat tomorrow. Once you do that, I will know that you are willing to cooperate."
Are we serious though? Like, why is niggas being on some like... Okay, I understand that, you know, opposite genders can't be in the rooms. That's a rule, and I get it. If that's the rule, you gotta follow the rules, you know what I'm saying? But I could see if he was like on payroll and shit. Well, he is. You know what I mean? Like, if he was one of those, like...
Not send the word yes, then I will assume that you do not want to make a deal, and I will tell Sergeant to check the cameras. You have until the end of the day, Monday, to send that message. As for the male who was actually caught in the room with a female, they both said they were studying that night, and they almost got discharged as well, but it didn't end up happening. So after trying to be a detective and then sending a threat for some dumb reason, Jacoby was the only one who got discharged. Moving on to the next thing that Jacoby did, this one is much, much worse. On September 13th, 2023, the Monroe Police
as the suspect of inappropriate behavior at the Monroe Planet Fitness, obtained multiple warrants for public indecency by exposing himself in a female locker room.
Police Department put out a warning on its Facebook page asking if anyone has information on the whereabouts of Dixon. Jacoby was now under investigation for exposing himself to a 15-year-old. The aunt of the 15-year-old
Switch 'em
initially
down.
reported the incident. She reported that the young teen was near the shower when the subject pulled back the curtain and stood there naked, exposing himself to her. She said her niece, shocked and startled, quickly started to leave when the man spoke to her and told her she could stay. He continued to talk to her as she left the locker room. Jacoby was arrested at the Planet Fitness that this happened in the same day. What's crazy is that Jacoby had an out-of-state membership, but the gym still let him in. And this out-of-state membership was registered under a false name. Not only that, but he also exposed himself to the 19-year-old employee. And then
Another thing, yo, these gym memberships, bro, I love this new click to cancel shit they about to implement, because, bro, you gotta go all the way to Planet Fitness. You gotta talk to them in person on canceling your shit. Like, bro, why I can't do it on the app? Why I gotta do all that? They do everything in their power to make it hard for you to cancel that shit, so they keep taking your money. You're not slick. I'm glad they added that little click to cancel shit, because they just took 25 out my shit and I don't got no job.
a couple days later to another employee. It's said that he called the front desk on the phone sometime in March this year and asked for this particular employee to come into the ladies' change room. When she entered, he was naked and then attempted to talk to her. He also asked her to call one of the other employees to come into the change room. The second time was a couple of weeks back. Oh, and by the way, if
Bro, what?
you're wondering how Jacoby just waltzed into the ladies' locker room, it's because he said he was trans. So all it took to walk into a room with a 15-year-old girl was to say that you're the opposite gender when you're not. The problem with this is that the gym was supposed to check if he was actually telling the truth or not, but
How are you supposed to, wait, okay, so how do you go about proof checking that? Do you gotta show them some type of, like, I don't know, but wouldn't that make like a more of a problem? That's when they go and be like, oh, well, I have to like factor identification my shit.
they did nothing. It says on this article that they should have a conversation with the member in order to determine the member's gender identity and any other gender-related concerns. And in rare cases where fraud or improper purpose is reasonably suspected, request documentation supporting the member's stated gender identity. Obviously, Planet Fitness did literally none of these. And even when the aunt and her sister went to the gym the next morning and spoke to management, the management said that he had a right to be in the women's locker room because all he said is that he's trans. So just like anyone would, the aunt of the 15-year-old sued the Planet Fitness. The attorney representing the teen's family claims that the fitness chain was aware of Dixon's alleged lewd behavior before exposing himself to the teenager. And early on into their investigation, it was confirmed that Planet Fitness knew about his prior conduct of exposing himself to females, but they did nothing about it because he identified as a female. After the internet found out about this incident, Boycott Planet Fitness was trending on Twitter for hours, with people saying, this isn't the first time Planet Fitness got caught up in a controversy like this. A man in Georgia exposed himself to a minor in the women's locker room. They didn't do anything because he identified as a woman. Hashtag boycott Planet Fitness. And people are definitely telling the truth about this happening at other Planet Fitnesses. Because when looking for information about this case, I found this guy, Christopher Miller. This guy allegedly went into a Planet Fitness in North Carolina, pretended to be transgender, and went into a locker room with a person in there, just like Jacoby. So clearly, other Planet Fitnesses around the world are having the exact same issue. So I think they 100% deserve to be sued, and I'm surprised it took this long for somebody to actually do it, considering the amount of times this has happened at a Planet Fitness. So in the end of all this, Jacoby is out of jail by now, and he's just posting again. And now that he's out of jail, some of the posts he's making are kind of mocking the situation.
Hey, what's up, my n***s? Y'all be careful. Real n***a on the loose.
What I find hilarious about these videos is that people in the comments section make sure that he can't escape the incident. On almost
Yo, bro, nigga, if you get a Kit Kat and you bite that shit like this, I might smack the shit out you. Everybody know Smack me then? No fucking way, Garcia.
Planet Fitness or just a gif in the comments of Planet Fitness. People need to keep doing this because it's actually hilarious. But somehow, even through all of this, Jacoby has not stopped making content and he pulls hundreds of thousands of views still. Like, just look at his 4th most recent video. It has 1.4 million views. I don't know if it's new fans or what, but people really need to stop supporting this guy. But anyways, that's pretty much all you need to know about Jacoby Dixon. In all honesty, this guy should still be in jail. I have no idea why he's out. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you for watching.
We did it! Yay! Oisima, we did it!
No DJ Khaled, but we the best. Them chops howling, where you a best.
Oh, what's this song?